Hello, hello. Welcome to the Pop Culture Playbook podcast. I'm your host, Tatyana Arrington.
And I'm your host, Simone Umba.
And man, oh man, there's a lot that happened when we took
We've been
that
gone
week.
for a while.
We took a week off, to get ourselves together, and the world almost ended.
Yeah.
Yeah. Should we start with the TikTok ban? Did you crash out?
Surprisingly, I didn't crash out. I don't know. I processed my grief. I did my whole goodbye like a week early. And pretty much I was like, okay, waiting for the countdown. But then I fell asleep before 8:30 because I did a live. And then I fell asleep. I woke up like after 11 and I had so many notifications from my group chats. It's like, bro, it's gone. And then I tried to log in. I was like, and then I got the notification. I was like, oh, we're gone.
Yeah. I was actually scrolling through the app and then it just stopped. And my last video was the TikTok sound. If I see up, is you gonna tell me?
I don't even remember my last TikTok I watched.
Where people are like hanging off their bathroom door or whatever. That was my last TikTok and it just stopped. But honestly, I was annoyed. I was annoyed throughout that entire process. I was like, oh, if you were going to ban it, you should have just banned it.
Yeah.
Because to bring it back 15 hours later and everybody's crying and everything, I was annoyed out of my mind. And I was just, honestly, too, everybody has a price, which I've come to realize. But it was just a little weird, too, to see like the CEO kissing Trump's ass. I was like, okay.
So you want to hear something really funny?
Yeah, tell me.
So I was in like a group chat and it was a bunch of meme creators that we made like in case, TikTok goes away, want to like stay linked up together. We were all like theorizing the day of if there was going to be like a buyout because there was like weird stuff we were noticing. Like we saw more ads for like Instagram and the way like Chu was already like addressing like Trump as president. Trump is like, he hasn't been inaugurated yet.
Yeah.
And then one of my friends who works in tech, he has a connect over at TikTok where he's like, oh yeah, it'll be back in a couple of days. Like it'll be fine. And I'm just like, I knew it. I knew it too.
And I think that's what pissed me off the most is I was like, guys, the app is not getting banned. Can you guys chill out? Like, please chill the F out. Like 15 hours, everybody was crashing out, crying on live. And I was a little annoyed because I was like, oh, you not about it. If you were going to ban it, at least ban it for a day. 15 hours, bro.
Yeah. Give it at least 24 hours just to like be like, serious. Like, come on now.
That was the most unserious stunt.
The biggest stunt, like full out stunting. Like it was ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I think the funny thing about the ban is that there's a bunch of influencers that started to do final confessions as if people weren't going to find them on Instagram or YouTube. I'm like, bro, what do you mean you lied to your audience? What do you mean you're airing out the brands that did not pay you? Now, if they did not pay you, then I'm okay with that. But you're airing out brands that did a whole lot of stuff.
Yeah.
You're airing out influencers you apparently do not like. I'm like, I really hope y'all ain't in the same niche because you're going to have to see them at events next month. So I'm just like, what the hell's going on?
I saw that too. And I thought that was really weird. And I was going to ask you about that because I was just like, y'all, we still have Instagram. Why are you confessing your deepest, darkest secrets? Like we're not going to see your ass again. It was the whole thing was weird and unserious. A lot of you are weird and unserious. And that's how I felt about it.
Yeah, I can't say like the vibe on the app, even though it's been a little over a week, the vibe is so different. And I think it's because we know what we know now. And we know that there's essentially going to be a sale down the line because the app is still here, even though it's not in the app store. The app is still accessible to people that still have it on their phones. But we know that there's been increased censorship. Like there's stuff that's going on that we don't know about. I didn't know people were protesting this presidency in whole other countries until like 2 days ago. I'm like, where was this?
Yep. Speaking of which, did you watch that thing that took place on Dr. Martin Luther King's Day?
I planned on not watching it. However, my roommate decided to tune into like the live on Twitter. And I saw like 3 minutes of it and I was on the verge of crashing out. I was like, bro, just turn it off. Turn it off. If I'm going to get through these next 4 years of any sanity, I have to know when to separate myself from my phone because every single day it is a new thing. and they're going to want to exhaust us. And I'm trying my ever so best not to drive myself to exhaustion because that's what they want.
Yeah.
I remember the first time we had to deal with him. Every day was something. And I knew if he ever got back, it was going to be worse. And that's because he had time to plan. And we're in week 2 and it's already a roller coaster of just dog shit. I'm not even going to be like clean about it.
Like
it's
his
just bad.
pen needs to run out of ink because we're all tired. Yeah, I was like, oh, I'm not watching it. I did what I do every year and watched Our Friend Martin. Yep. And Melania wasn't even that fitted, y'all. Like y'all were dragging it.
She looked like she was going to a funeral.
And that's that, period. Nothing more, nothing less. So it was very weird. Speaking of other weird things, so your prediction was right, and we're never going to hear about It Ends With Us. It should actually end here, right now. I am so tired of these petty games that they're both, literally on both sides.
This is essentially a PR war. And I don't know if people are trying to disassociate, but a lot of people are becoming very invested. They're starting to act kind of crazy. Like we're at the point where we're platforming Candace Owens again. We're at the point where white women are comparing Justin Baldoni to Emmett Till in comment sections. I had to get somebody together early this morning because I saw that and I'm just like, I understand white women audacity. But the POTUS audacity with the 53% getting us here and right before Black History Month, y'all are going to make me go off. Like, y'all get the nice version of me, but y'all going to get the Simone Umba from Fulton County. I'm not even joking about that right now.
Fulton County?
Yeah, girl.
Wow. First of all, I didn't see that. My jaw was dropped the entire time you just said that because that is insane.
I didn't even know those comments were being left until someone left it under my video last night.
Yeah.
And one of my mutuals brought this up. The way that specifically women are talking about this, it is showing that a lot of women are leaning towards like far right. And I had to think about it for a minute, and I'm thinking about everything that's like happened with like trad wife content picking up and how people are like very like pretentious and getting like really purist when it comes to just like mature content, like with TV and film. And I'm just like, you know what? I think you might be right. We're leaning towards that. And it's scary as hell, the regression, because the way women are acting with this voicemail of Justin talking about, oh, well, his voice is so soothing.
Blake, it's
I
2
want
in the
my
morning.
man to call me, and talk to me like that. I'm like, are y'all insane? What is going on?
So if everybody doesn't know, Justin Baldoni is dropping every receipt he possibly has. And he dropped to TMZ a 6-minute voice note that he sent Blake Lively at 2:00 in the morning. And this was supposed to vindicate him, but he kind of sounded like Joe Goldberg to me from You.
Yeah, a lot of people are getting Joe Goldberg. Like our voice notes aren't even this long. Like our voice notes are under like 2 minutes. Yeah. What are you sending a 6-minute voice note for?
Hey, Blake, it's 2 a.m. and I listened to the whole thing and I thought it was really interesting how he had an interesting way of apologizing. Like he was almost kind of gaslighting her and manipulating her in his apology. Like, so it wasn't a real apology. Yeah. It was like, hey, I'm sorry, but you should know my wife knows I'm a good man. And it's just all weird. And it's really hard to keep up with. I don't know. There's so many moving parts to this story on both sides. I don't even know. I think they're set to go to trial now.
The trial is set for, I believe, March of next year.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't understand like the date either, because initially I saw March and I thought March 2025, and I'm just like, okay. Same. But then I sent it in my group chat and my mutual repeated it back to me, and I was like, wait, 2026? We got to go for another year of this? Like, I can't. I'm so exhausted.
I'm so tired.
And it's crazy because like some like people who like have like either a neutral opinion or like an opposing sign from like the main thing that people are putting towards, they are essentially being accused of being paid. I actually got accused of getting paid off this morning. And I'm just like, first of all, why would... Okay, let me just look straight into the camera. If y'all think that I would get paid off by 2 white people that got married on a plantation who continuously are trying to show that they are allies. Do you think that we'd be recording the podcast here? Would you think I would have the apartment I still have? Do you think I would be trying to pay off my student loans? Don't even get me started on student loans today. I'm having a day. So to think that I'm getting paid off because I have a different opinion than the main people is ridiculous.
And just like look at the facts, because I feel like I'm one of those people that has a very neutral opinion. Like there's bad on this side, there's bad on that side, and I mean, to your point, Simone's about to let the chopper sing on y'all.
Y'all are pissing me off. Like I'm at the point where I'm just gonna be like, F it, like forget brand safe. I'm gonna call you out.
I mean, if she was getting paid, we would be on a private jet right now.
Literally.
So, not filming. So there's that. But any other thoughts about It Ends With Us before we move on?
No further thoughts. Like I need to like calm down. I'm already hangry as is, so I don't need to be angry right now.
I know, but I'm about to piss you off some more because what did you think about We can't even say Target anymore. It's Target.
I knew you were going to bring it up.
Target. Or I mean, or we could skip it. We could just.
No, we can talk about it. I feel like we need to, like as like Black women, I feel like it's necessary because there's been so much discourse over the weekend.
Yeah.
And it really shows like a lot of people's like empathy chip has been missing for a while.
It's gone. It
just
is
straight gone.
Yes. Yeah. And people were looking for a reason to gang up on certain people, I feel. And also I'm going to be real with y'all. I don't really shop at Target. So I was just kind of like, okay, well, I definitely won't be shopping at Target now. But to just see all of the discourse and everything, it was just really, it was a little disheartening. Yeah. Especially towards the Black creators who have businesses and stuff at Target.
I think my perspective is different on this because when I'm like a creative and I'm worked directly with brands when it comes to like partnership or even just interactions, but also working as a social media manager and doing UGC, like my job title is essentially converting digital engagement into sales. And I'm privy to, business operations and small businesses. Like I do social media management for small businesses. I've been doing it for 3 years now. And I understand the business dynamics. My first like social media job, I was let go because basically funds were not coming in. And thankfully I was able to find like another one like right after, but still that is, reality of small businesses. And I understand when it comes to brands transitioning into retail, that's a very big step. That's great for expanding your brand, but that's a very big step. There are some brands that people will ask all the time, oh, you should definitely be in Sephora, you should be in Ulta. And brands will straight up tell you like, hey, we're not ready for that. Yeah. So to get into retail, that's a huge step. That's a huge milestone for your brand. And I think people assume that they know everything just from a Google search because the expectation to think brands are going to break a legally binding contract is dumb. That's ridiculous. Now, there are some that have since announced that they're transitioning. I've only seen like one, and that's because they're within the means to do that because switching from retail to essentially wholesale in-house, that's a lot. Because you have that inventory from retail that you're going to have to buy back. Right. You're going to have to invest in warehousing. You're going to have to employ more people. You're going to have to expand your system when it comes to your website and just your overall production. Yeah. And then also you're going to have the price changing because you're going to have to account for that.
So basically, you guys don't understand business, and there's more that meets the eye than, oh, just pull your stuff out of Target. Like, it's so much bigger than that. And I feel like people thought Tabitha's message was insensitive, but really what I got from it was, hey, if you want to buy my stuff at Target and still support it, great. If you don't, great. Yeah. And you want to buy from me personally, great. Like that's really what I got out of it. I don't know how everybody twisted it into this narrative and this big thing, because that's literally what I took from it. Oh, if I want to still go support Black brands at Target, because a lot of y'all are probably going to still shop at Target. Fine. Yeah. But if I don't and I want to just get it for me personally, fine.
I think people picked at certain parts that they felt needed attention to rather than the whole message. Because I understood what she said. Yes, she mentioned how she is available multiple places, but she has the safety net to pull out of Target if she wanted to. And she says she has one more year before she's able to make a decision. Emphasis on able to make a decision because those stuff is ironclad. And I saw more of a focus on the brands that will feel heavy hit when it comes to this. The ones that will essentially have to file for bankruptcy if they pull out of a store, have to pay the chargebacks if stuff is staying on the shelves, who essentially disappear if basically a boycott happens. And I've seen so many brand founders who are lesser known, who are having, real emotional reactions to that. And people in the comment sections are just completely like heartless. It's just like, I saw one video from like a little girl that has like Black girl dolls in Target, essentially saying, hey, don't let us disappear. Continue to support us in store and online. And then this adult in the comments, hang on, let me find it because I want y'all to hear this because this is the way y'all are talking to these founders. And it is just simply ridiculous how y'all essentially have no empathy chip whatsoever.
Yeah. Yikes.
I'm gonna go through some of them. Sweetheart, move your dolls to your website. This video shows us we need to start our own stores. Not having anywhere involved that this is basically a transition I need to do. Okay, here's the one I was talking about. Okay. If our Black ancestors fought like this, we would still be riding in the back of a bus. Stop accepting the bare minimum and not understand DEI bigger than any small Black business. Hating the Black daughter, ensure not only will that they put an ad instead of keep. You see, y'all be leaving comments you don't even be spelling right.
A lot of y'all can't spell or read.
Keep you on the shelf, but also hire the Black men and women who would more Black-owned businesses. Again, y'all don't know how to spell. I'm a Black small business owner and understand your sentiment, but this is misguided and further positions Black businesses to not be in positions of power and success. Sell on your website and unite and then see the changes you wish to see. You're leaving this on the page of a child.
1,
you are grown adults. And 2, because you are a small business does not mean you have the knowledge in regards to business and retail, the processes. Some of these brands existed prior to 2020. The Lip Bar existed before 2020. The Do existed before 2020. Some brands, they started out after 2020 and had the opportunity to transition into Target. Some have even come out and said, hey, last year was rough. And I remember the founder of We the People saying like, hey, some of your Black brands are going to disappear next year in 2025 because of the current business landscape, because of the recession that was already starting. So to essentially not have any sort of empathy where businesses are right now, because they're reacting to this in real time with the public. And Melissa Butler, who is the founder of the Lip Bar, she has been very open and honest when it comes to this entire thing, especially when it comes to Black owned, transitioning into Black founded, and the whole idea of selling out and being upfront and honest about it. And I can admit, I used to be that person when it comes to like brands selling out until I met the founders and understand the transition from being solely owned to transitioning onto a portfolio and what that does in regards to growth, in regards to seeing your brand thrive. So I think a lot of people want to only hear their opinion and only be the right opinion. And a lot of people bring up the Montgomery bus boycott and say that we are not our ancestors. The Montgomery bus boycott happened within a city and communications within a state. To have a nationwide boycott of $1 billion industry in the current time we are in, you would have to have first a state meeting with every single person representing a city. Then you have to figure out 1 or 2 people to essentially represent the state in a bigger Zoom call with 50 other states for y'all to figure out, okay,
what about Starbucks though? Because Starbucks lost like billions of dollars when they did that boycott for Palestine.
Starbucks is a different situation because it was a lot of Gen Z leading that charge.
Got it. Okay. But and
some people didn't even know about the Starbucks boycott, if we're going to be honest.
See, that's another thing. I don't drink Starbucks either. So like some of these things just don't pertain to me. But I will say I do like the fact that I wish we could just have a conversation about it, because I think a lot of people just don't know, to your point. And I wish we could just have a conversation. If somebody says, well, why can't you just put it on your website? Here's why, guys, this wouldn't work. Or why can't we just do this? Or why can't we just do that? I think if we were all able to have conversations and, to your point, really listen to each other, then we could actually get somewhere. But like you said, people are being mean, they're being malicious. They can't wait to tear you down when you're successful.
A lot of people wait for moments like this to happen to essentially basically let up the jealousy and actually have a shield behind it.
Oh, yeah.
Because some of them are even talking about people, they never bought their brands. Like, they'll start off, oh, well, I don't buy your stuff, but that was a terrible post. I'm like, why are you even talking?
Why do you care? Yeah, that's
why are you even talking?
Why do you care? Like, it doesn't matter.
It really doesn't.
pertain
And
to you.
Additionally, when it comes to just like boycotting, because we had like the same conversation when it came to Walmart, a lot of people are only accessible to a Target or to a Walmart. And I explained this in a video prior to that. I have the privilege to be in driving distance of different grocery stores. I live by a Target. I live by a Walmart. I live by a Publix. I live within 3 miles of 2 Krogers, a Whole Foods, and a Costco. I have options. And this is from living in a metro, like major city. The small town in like Arizona or like Texas or even in like Florida, they probably only have a Publix nearby them. They probably only have a Target. They probably only have a Walmart. So a lot of people aren't taking into account that people have different accessibility to things to where they probably won't be able to boycott.
Yeah. But apparently the boycott is supposed to start next week. I never bought from Target, so there's that.
Really, I only get like Honey Pot from Target, but that's it. Also,
Love Honey Pot.
Also, I recognize that if stuff does not move on the shelf, then a lot of stuff will disappear. And a lot of people are having the conversation with the Black History Month collection. I'm actually wearing it right now with like the 2-piece set. So I made sure to make sure I did my contribution, because I know that if that stuff doesn't move, then that stuff disappears. Also, with my Target, they didn't put ours up until like last Sunday, this past Sunday at like morning. I got there at 2 in the afternoon. There are already sections cleared out. So
wow,
like my Target, it's a Black Target. We're always going to go. Any kind of collection, we're always clearing it out. So I was lucky to even find this set at like my size, because whenever it comes to like bigger sizes, those always go first because we always like it because the material is good and it's comfortable. This is actually from like Legendary Roots. So like they always have like my favorite like things. I wear them all the time. So when it comes to like support, actually listen to the brand owners when they're talking and really actually listen. Like, don't just have like a quick rebuttal. Don't be like, I understand, but actually listen to what they're saying, because they're being open and honest about a situation, which is a rough time as a business owner to try to navigate and make people happy.
Yeah, it's rough. I feel like it's rough on both sides. It's like you're trying to please people and you're trying to do this and that, but I guess we'll see what happens. Yeah. Did you watch Wags?
I did. I just finished it today.
I watched Wags too. Yeah. So here's. Okay, so I feel like people would love a show about Wags. I love Wags. Mm-hmm. I would love to see them getting ready for game day. Yeah. I would love to see their fits, what they're going to wear. I would love to see, how they handle their personal life, whether it's kids, whether they're still trying to go to school or whatever, while going to their man's games, home game, different state, and supporting him through that journey. I would love to see all of that. Wags to Riches did not provide
no Wags whatsoever. And I understand the message of it being like moving from the non-traditional wag. That's fine. Have it a different title of the show, because we really only got like 3 or 4 wags.
Yeah, some of them weren't wags. Yeah.
Like, really, we have like rappers, baby mamas on the show. I'm just like,
Yes, Jules was there. I was like, what is this?
Why is Yes Jules here?
Questions that need answers for a minute. I'm like, how does she just measle her way into everything?
Why is Yes Jules here? Yeah. And then like, and this is sports, like y'all, to try and make it like a moment where it's like, oh, you're holding this white woman accountable in like the second half of like the season. Y'all brought her onto the show in the first place. Like, what do you mean you get to make it an accountability moment? Also, like some like people, and I didn't know this until like people pointed it out. The girl that she had gotten in a fight with, you know DeVito, right?
Yeah.
The girl that had gotten in a fight with Jules, she is the girl that lied, that said that she was pregnant by him. So I'm like, why are we bringing these people on the show?
Wow.
What is this?
It was all just interesting. Every time I saw Ocho Cinco, I just thought about that girl from Basketball Wives who was like, Ocho Cinco wanted me. Ocho Cinco. I can't think of her name, but she was like reading Evelyn down like, Ocho Cinco. So that's what I thought every time I saw him. And I thought, Sherelle thought she was like Savannah James. I'm like, girl, your man don't even play anymore. Like, pipe down.
Like, we get it. He got like he got the podcast. We get it. But like, girl, he wasn't like an MVP player. Like, if we're gonna be so honest, like he played for the Dolphins. Like, we need to be for real.
Yeah, I just it was it was an interesting, fun little watch for what it was. Like, I love mess from time to time, but I don't think I would watch a season 2 of it, or I don't think I would watch.
Is it even gonna get a season 2? Because season 1 just ended so weird. It was just like weirdly off.
Yeah.
Like, there's some people I liked. Like, I liked Ashley, and I liked.
She seemed positive.
Yeah, Ashley was positive.
Yeah.
And, you know, I like Portia. I feel like Portia was like the Cynthia Williams of the group. I think maybe because she was pregnant. But honestly, I liked Portia. And even like, is her name Alex or Alexis?
Ooh.
The lady with the locks.
Oh, I actually don't know.
Well, she was kind of like the friend of the show, even though she's like part of the main cast. She was like the divorced, she was a divorced person. I can't remember the husband's name, but essentially they have like 4 kids and she was dating again. And you got to see that journey. I feel like she would do better on Real Housewives of Miami.
Interesting.
I feel like she's better suited for that show.
Did you like Sade?
Okay, so Sade kind of annoyed me at first, the first 4 episodes. And then like later, I'm like, okay, I get it. And I understand because I think she's not the youngest, but like on the younger side of the group. So that's probably why.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to like the mean girl antics. Like, I understand like these are grown women acting like we're in college. I
like that she stood her ground. And she kind of didn't let anybody like little girl her, her man. Some of the things, sorry, my headphones keep falling. Some of the things I heard on this show were insane. You're having his 10th child? Oh, girl, what?
I didn't even realize Keita's husband was Tyreek until she said how many kids. I was like, wait, your husband is that Tyreek? 3 kids, 3 different baby mamas, 1 year Tyreek. Like, I remember when all that came out and I would see so many pictures. I'm like, why is she
And you're having his 10th? Like, are you crazy? And then I think another one, Chad has 8 kids?
Chad has 8.
She has 3, so they have 11 together. I was like, okay. So that was another thing I liked about Sade. I was like, oh, no baby mama drama, no muss, no fuss. Because I was like, oh, if this is what y'all got going on, that's not for me. I don't care how much money he has. 10th, you're having his 10th child? What? Does he even care at this point? Like,
I don't know.
Like, I could not do it. But yeah, that was something.
Yeah.
That was
Netflix. I don't know what's going on.
That was really something. But I mean, speaking of athletes, Super Bowl.
Yep.
Eagles versus the Chiefs.
I'm bandwagoning the Eagles this year. Fly, Eagles, fly.
Fly. I mean, first of all, like, I'm rooting for, they're fine. Like, let's just, talk about the elephant in the room. The Eagles are fine. So that's who I'm rooting for, obviously. But do you think they're going to win?
If they don't go by the script, I hope.
The script? What do you mean?
Girl, what do you mean? What do you mean the script?
What do you mean
the script?
The script? You mean like, Taylor Swift and seeing her Super Bowl outfit and what friends she brings to the box?
No, I'm talking about like the franchise 3P with the Chiefs. I'm talking about the franchise 3P. I'm talking about sports.
I was talking about the actual conspiracy.
I'm talking about sports.
Okay. Well, I mean, I guess that would be iconic for them if that happens.
Yeah, I mean, I understand, like, okay, Patrick Mahomes, he's like the main dude. And then Travis Kelce, he's bringing in the viewership. I get it. But I
thought Taylor was bringing in the viewership.
Okay,
I'm just kidding.
Taylor bringing the viewership. We're going to be honest.
I'm kidding.
I think people are just tired of just the Chiefs like winning like all the time. And I think, and it's mainly because like they're like what the Patriots used to be back in the day. But with the Patriots, it was like spaced out. Like every like 2 or 3 years, they would like take home a ring. And now the Chiefs are the main ones. And they won the last 2. And they're probably going to win a 3rd, which is why people are rooting for the Eagles so bad. But also at the same time, with the NFL, you also have a 3-peat along with the Swiftie viewers. And then people are thinking, if he proposes, this is going to be a whole ass mess. Even though I know that he's not going to propose publicly.
Yeah, I was like, do y'all think he's going to propose on his day? He doesn't give that energy to me. I'll be very surprised if he just wins a Super Bowl and then gets down. I'll be with the Swifties like
the way that photo will be everywhere.
Oh, how much do you think people would pay for it?
I mean, it's gonna be on like the NFL like live on television. They're gonna have that still shot everywhere for months,
years.
Oh, absolutely. But
lives will be changed that night. If Taylor Swift, the quintessential lover girl who's had all these terrible boyfriends, but finally has one that's treating her right and wants to make friendship bracelets with her, gets down on one knee on his night after winning a 3-peat Super Bowl and proposes, the
social media managers are already prepared.
I couldn't write a better story.
If you're a social media manager, you're prepared for anything that could happen on February 9th. And it's so funny because and here's the thing. I knew that this was going to be for the long haul when she brought him on one of her shows in London. I was like, oh. On
stage, right?
Yeah. And mind you, I don't even follow the girl like that. But I know from just memory, she don't be bringing a dude on stage. That's her office. You bringing a dude on stage, you marrying that man. Like the day is coming.
Listen, it could be February 9th. I don't think it's going to happen though. But yeah, I've been wrong before. I was talking to my dad and he was like, Chiefs won. And I was like, of course they did. Like, don't you want to see Taylor Swift at the Super Bowl? And he was like, goodbye, Tati, goodbye. And I was like, no, Dad, like, don't you want to see what friend she's going to bring in the box? And he was like, goodbye, stop, it's not rigged. And I was like, I never said it was rigged. I mean, but if you could rig an election, you could probably rig a football game, right? I'm not saying it's rigged. I don't know anything about sports.
You're about to get a flag on Spotify.
I don't think it's rigged. I don't know. I don't know.
Listen, I was hoping
for the Eagles.
I was hoping for a Bills-Eagles Super Bowl just so we can have some variety this year.
That wasn't going to happen.
Listen, I was hopeful. Especially where we're third quarter. I was hopeful.
Not with Taylor in that LV beanie. Hello.
I mean, can we really... Was the LV fit really eating though?
No comment. No comment. But the red tights, maybe Reputation era loading. We will...
Y'all been talking about Reputation for like 2 years.
Let us have this.
Okay. All right.
Big Reputation. Ooh. Listen.
Girl, we cannot afford the copyright.
For the Swifties' sake, I hope he proposes. I want to gasp too. I want to be like, I want to see the ring. I want to see all of it. So Travis, do what you got to do. Do what you got to do. So I feel like a lot of also things have been happening relationship wise. So let's talk a little bit about The Bachelor.
All right.
So we know Matt and Rachel broke up. If you haven't heard that, then you've probably been living under a rock. But what was your thought about that weird ass announcement? Sorry, spoiler.
So I found out about the breakup scrolling through TikTok in the morning, and I'm like, Wait, what?
I was on Twitter.
Now, mind you, I don't even follow the both of them.
Me neither.
When I saw the People article confirming, I was like, oh, okay. And then I saw the announcement and he did it in the prayer. I was like,
that was weird.
Okay.
That was weird. It was giving like she didn't know about it.
Yeah, apparently she didn't know about it.
Yeah.
And the weirdest thing is that it was so random that people were theorizing that they were faking it to announce an engagement. I'm just like, listen, I cannot have this much white Delulu in my life. And it's like, did we forget the man that we met like 4 years ago with his season? His season still gives me PTSD because of that whole scandal. Like,
yeah.
Like, I was so triggered because it's like you put us all through that mess. Mm-hmm. Chris Harrison got fired from the show trying to defend that mess. Rachel Lindsay literally went through literal digital racism to the point where the network, ABC, had to address the BS. And you're going to break up with this girl after 4 years? Really?
And that was my thing. I was like, after 2 years, I would have been out. Like,
yeah,
time is a ticking. 4 years? No ring? Like, what would she think? I hope now she is doing an interview with Alex Cooper from Call Her Daddy. It will drop after we've recorded. Yeah. So we'll hear everything. But I hope she asks, like, if Alex, was a real journalist, I would ask her, like, girl, why did you stay with him for 4 years with no ring? Questions that need answers. Yeah. And then why did you take him back after he dumped you? And like you said, the whole thing was messy.
On national television.
On national television.
They try to make it a whole racism moment, even though he went back.
Yeah. And honestly, too, like, even I never really kept up with them, but I would see their post every now and then. And I always thought they were weird. Like like, I remember one time for her birthday, he did a birthday post and he called her Gamora. And he was just like, she's my Gamora because she makes life better. And I was like, wait, do you really call her Gamora? Like, is that her pet name? People usually choose like baby, sweetie, love of my life, angel, princess. But you're really calling her Gamora? I just thought it was weird.
I don't care how much of a blurred you are. Don't call me fucking Gamora. No, just no.
Yeah, there's like better nerd options if you are gonna be a nerd, like there's better things to call me. But yeah, I thought it was odd. But we will know all the tea from Rachel soon enough.
Also, her going on Call Her Daddy instead of Biofiles or like a main Bachelor podcast.
Not surprising.
Yeah, not surprising.
Why would I go there?
Yeah. Also, I knew she was gonna go public on like a podcast kind of way, because of how big of a story it is.
Yeah.
And she's going to talk at some point, especially after like the like faux de moi spotting and her commenting, that was not me.
Yeah. I don't know why people were surprised by that either. I feel like a lot of people, so not a lot, but some people try to remove themselves from Bachelor Nation, and they seemed one of the pretty removed ones. Yeah. And if I just got dumped, why would I want to go talk to a guy about that? Like, I'm going to go talk to a girl so we can share our feelings, and like, she can be like, yeah, he was wrong. And another thing, like, I want that kind of rapport. So
she picked Call Her Daddy intentionally. Like, her team picked it intentionally because we're keeping it a bean in the buck. Call Her Daddy, mainly a show for white women. So of course, she's going to go talk to her main base about this black man that basically double-crossed her. Like, we're not going to ignore the racial dynamic. We're going to be honest here.
You're on fire today.
Listen, I've had a weekend. It's been a day.
But what are your thoughts on like the Bachelor franchise overall?
I feel like the show is trying to hang on to whatever lifeline it's had. I feel like they're trying to make changes to catch up with the times, especially with streaming, tapping into reality TV. Yeah. And they try to go to step, but they're taking like little tippy toes instead of a whole foot. And when it comes to like diverse leads, especially with how Gen season went, like with The Bachelorette, I feel like do not put non-white leads in a position where they have to deal with terrible picks because for some reason the show is terrible at background checks, whether it be racism, whether it be domestic violence. Y'all are just terrible with it with any kind of season. And it's just like, bro. And also, there are not a lot of successes. Like, really, out of like the entire, Bachelor, Bachelorette, and even Golden Bachelor, out of all the seasons, there's like, I don't even counting like 9 or 10.
So do you watch?
Successful? I didn't start watching until probably, I think, Ben Higgins season, but that was because I was like a freshman in college and like all the girls were watching it in my dorm. So
since Ben Higgins season, you've watched?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't start watching until Rachel Lindsay's season. Rachel, I love you.
Like I would tune in and out just because like I had stuff to do, y'all. I was a bio major. So I didn't watch my first full season until Rachel Lindsay's season.
Okay. But I know all the main players too, because I actually don't really like The Bachelor, Bachelorette. I love Bachelor in Paradise. That is my show. Yeah. It's shorter. They're on the beach. They're drinking. Everybody's in swimsuits and relationships are tested. Everybody's coupling up and hooking up. So every summer, and they didn't have it last summer. I was upset, but Bachelor in Paradise is like my go-to, but I do know all the main players. I know Nick, I know Ben, Ashley, Ari and Lauren. I think they're still together. So I know everybody, but I guess this is like the first season since Rachel Lindsay's season that I'm going to watch. So did you watch Grant's episode last night?
Yeah.
Me too, Grant, you little whore, but we'll get into that later. So do you have I wrote some notes on the girls. I'm so curious.
Listen, I had to do like little indicators for like every like girl just to remember. Cause listen, the first couple of weeks, we're not gonna remember everybody.
I don't know your names, babes. I'm so sorry. Okay. Janae, I thought you were beautiful, but I knew you were going home.
Oh, yeah.
She was giving homie. Yeah. Wasn't she giving homie to you? Soon as they'd said something and he was like, oh, we got to come up with a handshake. I was like,
yeah.
And then I saw them playing basketball. I was like, oh, she's going home.
Yeah.
For sure.
Like, I understand, like, they're like told like specific things about him, like descriptors of like, oh, yeah, he plays basketball. Oh yeah, he's from Jersey, so you gotta put like emphasis on it. No, I think like one for me, and I think she got the first impression rose. Alex with the alpaca.
I didn't expect that.
Yeah,
I did not. First of all, because if they tell me, hey, you need to bring a llama, as your opening, I'm gonna be like, no, I'm trying to find love. I'm trying to get my husband. I'm not bringing a llama, but surprisingly, she brought the llama, got it, was one of the girls he kissed, and got the first impression rose. I was shocked. I didn't think it was going to be her. I thought it was going to be Alicia, white dress, or Caroline, girl he wanted to kiss, but did not because he sensed that she wasn't ready to be kissed, but he did want to kiss her. And I thought it was is it Juliana? Or Juliana?
Juliana, hang on. I'm scrolling through the list. There are just so many people.
I thought it was going to be one of them who got the rose, and then it wasn't.
Homegirl Zoe with the t-shirt gun. I was like, wait, someone about to get hit in the head. Like, Zoe, this is a hazard.
Is she a villain? Is she in her villain? I might see a villain cut for her.
Maybe.
No, not Portia. Parcia is crazy. PowerPoint girl with the cat.
Oh yeah.
I was like, and then she was giving these eyes. I was yeah. No. I did I do you remember Vicky, the bottle girl?
Vicky from Vegas? Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like she's gonna be around, she's fun, she's a good time, but she's not ending up with him. Like, how many guys do you know want their wife to be a bottle girl?
Not a lot.
There we go. So I don't think she's sticking around. Bailey's from Atlanta.
I actually follow Bailey on Instagram. So when I saw that her like cast member photo, I was like, girl, what you doing over on The Bachelor?
All right. She's from Atlanta, so we're rooting for her. But my sister in Christ, Bailey, put that phone down, girl.
No. As soon as I saw social media management as her main job, I was like, oh God, they're gonna emphasize her being on her phone all the time. I'm just like, girl, put the phone down.
I was like,
I think the wig thing was it was cute. It was cute, show personality. But girl, we got to put the phone down.
Bailey, put that phone down, sister. We love you, girl. Atlanta Hive, but put that phone down. I was cackling every time she picked that phone up. And then when he went to go take a picture, she's like, no. My husband would know how to get my angles. Kind of iconic. I kind of love it, but hilarious. Hilarious. Did you notice that Grant, I feel like one of his love languages is physical touch.
Yeah.
Or if it's not it's like his main love language. Like he was getting handsy last night. And I literally wrote, he kissed 45 girls because I was keeping track. First of all, the first kiss shocked me. Like I was watching with my mom and she was like, he looks like he wants to kiss her. And I was like, no way. Because, people don't really kiss on the first night. Yeah. And then I was like, my jaw dropped. And then it just kept going. It kept going. I think he kissed, 7 girls?
I honestly was not counting.
7 to 45 you picked, but I was just like,
girl, there's 25 girls on the show.
Well, I think it's 7. I think it's lucky number 7. And then he wanted to kiss one, like I mentioned, but he was like, oh, she's not ready to be kissed. I was like, how do you judge this? Okay, we had a great conversation. Yeah. We had an awesome conversation. We kissed. Like, can you imagine if you didn't get the kiss? I don't know how I would feel.
Yeah, I was starting to feel a little self-conscious about that.
Yeah.
Even with Grant's sister coming up, I understand it's the first night and you're already feeling intimidated with the girls coming in who have a lot of personality, but the way they were so territorial. Yeah. I was like, damn, y'all, she just walked in here. Imagine his sister walked in his back and y'all are calling her a bitch on TV as soon as he walks in. Imagine if the person that he ended up picking was saying that and she was like, oh, wow, she called me this the first night? Okay.
I feel like I knew it was his sister or somebody. I was like, they're not just bringing an ex or some random person. I don't know. But listen, Grant was in his light skin era. Okay. Yeah. He, at the end of it, they're giving us teasers. I'm in love with 2 women. I'm like, is he Chris Brown? What is going on? So I guess we will stay tuned. We'll have to see. Do you have any tops right now? Or is it too soon for you to tell?
It's too soon for me to tell.
I like Beverly. I like her.
What was Beverly? Beverly. Oh yeah. I put down Dominican because she was supposed to compete Miss Dominican Republic, I think.
Sorry, we don't know who you guys are yet.
It's early. We'll figure it out.
I don't know, but I'm super excited. I'm excited to watch this season. I'm excited to see how this plays out. Who is the woman that Grant is going to choose to sit with him in his Ferrari for the rest of his life?
Also, the music choices when it comes to these commercials and ads. I'm just 1, we got a budget, and 2, y'all being so dramatic.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, I would be dramatic in that situation too. I know I would. I would be crying. I'd be like, I already know, which is why I'm not on there. So, did you watch? So if you guys didn't know, Sinners, the new Michael B. Jordan, Ryan Coogler movie that's coming out in April, it was supposed to come in March, got pushed back to April, but they just released a trailer today. Did you watch it?
Yes.
What did you think?
I loved it.
Okay.
It didn't give too much, but it gave just enough.
I feel the same way. I didn't like, though, that we saw Haley turn into a vampire.
I mean, honestly, I think you can assume that she's probably going to turn, especially with the setting of the movie.
Yeah. Okay. That's fair. I'm just on this kick where I don't like to know anything.
Yeah.
So just to even see a little bit, I want to be gagged when I go to the theater, But I'm still very excited to see it. So, we'll see. Man, Selena Gomez can't catch a break.
Oh boy.
She can't catch a break. I feel like it is every week something is happening where she's like, I need to leave social media. And then she tries to come back and then something happens again. And like, once again, I think to your point, like that empathy chip is missing. But also, I don't know why. I know why she felt the emotions and everything, but I don't know why she did that. I can't imagine like you would expect positive reactions to you feeling so sad about something so serious. That's just kind of where I'm at with it.
I think just the general like crying on camera and posting to the internet
confuses me.
Where like people are kind of like standoffish, and also the way she's acted on social media in the past, especially when it comes to major issues and the dynamics in regards to like post-election and like dynamics with the Black community, Hispanic community, it's already like really, really muddy. And one of my mutuals brought this up. She, mentioned how like a lot of people are still grieving the results we got. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people are still mad, and there's a lot of blame to go around in different sections. And a lot of people aren't processing it well, even though it's been 3 months, even though we are 2 weeks into this. And the constant news coming out every single day is like everyone's pressure cookers right now.
Yeah.
And a lot of us are not coping well. Mm-hmm. And I think with Selena, I think people were just like really over it because it's like, oh, you're a billionaire. You can be donating to legal aid. You can be doing this. You mean that. And mind you, I've read this girl before. I am not going to knock her when it comes to the work she does for her community, whether it be
no, I don't think you can.
like real thing, like it is less outside like nonprofits. She's been vocal about immigration. Like she's like, I believe, third generation or second generation Mexican American. Because she's talked about like her parents on like her dad's side, immigrating to this country, and her being like from Texas. So as like a fellow first gen, I get it. Watching this was just really like, it's terrible because it's not just, Hispanics getting rounded up. It's everybody. So I think you can acknowledge the way she's acting on socials when it comes to other stuff, but also got to realize like this is real. This is real stuff happening, and people are going to react and cope the way that they are. Yeah. And listen, we got to figure out something to how to cohabitate because we got 4 years of this. We got to figure it out, y'all.
Yeah. I think some people, too, were just like, well, they voted for him. So it's like, so I think some people had that opinion, too. But I think like it's just that empathy thing is missing. But the overarching point is I just don't understand. When I'm crying, I never have an urge to pull my phone out and record myself or take pictures and then put them online. It's just not for me.
Like, I understand you having a moment on like a live stream where you're crying.
Yes.
But to record a video and then post it onto stories.
Or if somebody's recording you, like you just got announced for something great and then you start, but yeah.
So on to something lighter.
Yeah. Let's talk about, is this lighter? I don't know. The Oscar nominations? What were your thoughts?
Not surprised. I feel like a lot were predictable with this year, even though this year has kind of been like a mixed bag. Yeah. I feel like a lot were predictable.
Same.
Yeah. Honestly, I think the only snubs that I'm like kind of like taken aback with was one, Clarence Macklin for Sing with Best Supporting Actor. Now he is nominated for Best Adapted Screenplay. So he is Oscar nominated. But still, I would have loved to see him like nominated for Best Supporting Actor because he gave an amazing performance in the film.
I agree.
Also, another one, challengers for score.
That was mine.
That was surprising for me. I would have thought they had at least gotten that.
That was mine. I was literally looking at Best Score like, I know who's going to be there. And Challengers was not there. And I was like, well, WTF? Like, what? The score everybody was playing for months and months and months. The score that you can immediately recognize. That's so the way that, and then, cinematography too, like for that film as well. Yeah. But that was mine. I was like, whoa.
Yeah. But I was right this year with my predictions for Best Actress. That's the first for me because I knew Cynthia,
yes,
Mickey, and I believe
Mikey.
Yeah, Mikey. I keep confusing that girl. So Cynthia, Mikey, and then Demi. Mm-hmm. I think Demi was like my automatic and Carla. Those are like my definite locks, especially from nominations we've seen so far. I knew there was going to be a wild card, and I knew it was definitely Fernanda because she already had the Golden Globe win. Yeah. This is the first time I actually was right with my Best Actress predictions. Best Actor, that was predictable.
Yeah. I wasn't really surprised by anything, but my girl Ari got her nomination, and I still want that Oscar for my girl. I'm a little worried, but I'm hopeful.
Listen, if these studios are for real about like campaigning, they would do it.
Ari, she deserves. She deserves. Yeah, but I wasn't really surprised by anything. Yeah, especially since I like saw a lot of these movies this year. I pretty much knew this was fantastic. This was incredible. This wasn't that good as everybody made it seem. Yeah. So yeah, wasn't. Coleman got nominated naturally. Like, of course, Sing Sing was one of my favorite films last year that I saw. Yeah, challengers across the board. Like, shut out. So that was weird. But the Grammys are coming up this weekend. Yep. After we record, we'll be back to talk about who won, who lost, biggest upsets. Has anything changed since we recorded at the top of the year? Do you still stand firm that Beyonce will not get Album of the Year?
I think I'm pretty much still in that.
Okay. I think I'm still in that too.
Because the odds like keep changing and knowing what is on like the list, I think she'll definitely take some home. Yeah. I feel like Album of the Year, I feel like it's a toss up. Like we expect like probably she won't get it because of how the Academy is. But also if she does get it, it will still be a shock, but also a great moment to celebrate because it's long overdue.
Yes. I think she should have. Lemonade was mine. Oh yeah. That was mine. That was like, if it was going to be any album, it would have been Lemonade. Like, oh yeah. But I think that was Adele's year. Who do you think this special guest is going to be?
I think probably Lauryn Hill just present Album of the Year, maybe.
Okay.
Either her or Madonna or
because I'm like,
or maybe Dolly. I don't know.
I'm like, who's bigger than Taylor Swift? Who's bigger than Beyonce? That you guys having to tease, this special guest. I'm like, who is it? I'm hoping it's Miley Cyrus and her and Beyonce do Two Most Wanted.
I mean, we got to think like bigger than Beyonce and Taylor.
I'm kidding. I know you're kidding. That's what I want. I want to see Two Most Wanted live. Win, Beyonce, win. Actually, if Beyonce wins, do you think she will announce her, whatever her announcement is? Like Taylor did with Tortured Poets Department?
Here's the thing. Beyonce understands like the Grammys is her workplace.
Okay.
Also, I'm still having bets on Black History Month. Like the first day of Black History Month, like she did with the last tour, I feel like she's going to announce it probably that morning.
Okay.
Or maybe just to be appropriate, she'll announce it like right after.
Okay. I guess we will see. Anything that you want to leave the people with before we get out of here?
Honestly, no. I think the only thing to put in is that February is my birthday month. So if you want to cash out your girl some coffee, that would be great. I'm going to need it.
Yeah. What kind of coffee do you drink? I don't drink coffee.
You don't drink coffee? Girl, how are you awake right now?
I raw dog life.
Jesus Christ. No, I'm mainly I'm trying to like not put, I used to be someone that like puts like a lot of creamer in their coffee. I'm trying to like slowly like pass away from that. So I'm mainly just like a straight up coffee kind of person. I do add syrups, but I also add creamer too, because I don't want it to be like too strong. Yeah. But also, like, I can't stand decaf.
No, I don't know a lot of what this means, but I'm just kidding. I used to be an actor. I had to make coffee for actors all the time. But all right, guys, thank you so much for listening to the Pop Culture Playbook. And we will see you all next time. Cash App Simone a coffee for her birthday. See you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.